Hi, everybody. Just enjoying a very nice, clear, not too warm, not too cold day. I don't know if it's officially spring, but I wanted to talk to you guys about something. I recently found a young man by the name of Jamie Carrington on YouTube, and he was so inspiring to me. He was so intelligent and far more eloquent than I think I could ever be. You could tell he just has a beautiful heart. And he encouraged me to talk about something. And that's kind of my journey to where I became ill with myalgic encephalomyelitis and what happened after. I thought everything was going great. I had graduated from graduate school with a master's in social work and a credential for school social work. And I thought, okay, my life is beginning. It's all going to be good from here. I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish education-wise, and I was just so excited for what life had to bring. Well, unfortunately, I lost my first job coming out of graduate school. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I couldn't afford my rent. It just so happens I was dating this guy, and it got to a point where financially I couldn't go on my own. And so I moved in with him, and it was a long way from where I was raised. It's about 60 miles away. So it was a big drastic change for me. So this relationship didn't work out. He cheated on me, and before that, well, what happened is we had bought a house together, and he didn't have good credit, and so they wouldn't allow the house or the loan to be put under his name. So everything was under my name, and I catch him cheating. I kick him out, and I get a letter from his attorney demanding that I hand over the house. It was his money that paid for the home, but like I said, his credit was so bad that, So fortunately, I had a family friend who was a real estate attorney, and I told him about my situation, and he said just give up the house. It's not worth the fight. He said, if this goes to court, you're going to end up having to pay stiff legal fees, and it's just not going to be worth it. So I took his advice and moved out into an apartment not too far from where the house is. And I started feeling really weak and just tired and so drained after work. And I thought, oh, I must be coming down with a cold or something, maybe a sinus infection. Um, I don't know, but I just wasn't feeling good every day, and it kept getting worse until one day I woke up to get ready for work, and I tried to lift my head up off of the pillow, and it felt like my head weighed 500 pounds. It was a shock. It was a shock to me that I couldn't even lift my head up off the pillow. And my whole body was weak. And I could tell how weak it was as I started waking up. And I realized, okay, somehow I need to be able to get into my car and go to urgent care. So I did. At the time, they gave me an EKG, and they found some sort of abnormality. And so they sent me to the emergency room. So I was there for about 11 hours, and they couldn't really find anything. And I started going to doctors, and all of them were saying, you're depressed. That's all. You just take antidepressants and, you'll be fine. And, being a clinical social worker, I knew that I wasn't depressed, not because I wanted to be stubborn about it, but I still had a drive to go to work and to go to the gym and to spend time with friends. When a person has a drive to live their life and be happy and quote unquote normal, that's not depression. And I went through just about every test and blood work that you can think of. At a MRI with contrast dye, so many blood tests, I can't even count. None of them found anything. So I didn't have the energy to go to the grocery store. So for 2 months, I subsisted on crackers or chips or just snacks that I could think of because I had no energy to fix myself anything to eat. I think a bowl of cereal might have been too much for me to prepare. I was just so incredibly weak. One thing that I remember about those 2 months is that there was the television Deadliest Catch. There was a marathon going on TV, so that's all I did was I laid in bed and watched Deadliest Catch. Then I started hearing this faint voice in my head that said, you need to go to the church on Scott Road. I thought, okay, this is weird. Am I going a little cuckoo? Maybe the doctor's got the wrong mental health diagnosis. But I kept hearing that voice, you need to go to that church on Scott Road. And it just kept repeating. And it was to the point where it was almost annoyance. So after 2 months, I was starting to get some of my strength back. But the voice was still telling me I had to go to the church on Scott Road. So I went through Google searches, trying to find a church on Scott Road, and I knew exactly where it was because I had driven by it so many times. And first page of searches, didn't find any church on Scott Road. Second page, nothing. Third page, I finally found it. And it turned out that they were having a Saturday evening service. And so I think that was the first time in 2 months that I had gone out for anything but the doctor. And I was sitting sort of in the back of the church, and as the pastor started preaching, it was seriously as if he had bugged my apartment and knew exactly what to say to me. It was the most insane experience. And I started crying because everything that pastor was saying seemed like it was directed towards me. I don't remember what it was exactly, but it was basically about being strong in the Lord when you're weak. But like I said, just every word seemed to be directed towards me. And at the end of the service, I'm just, tears are flowing down my cheek. And I went up to the pastor and, I told him what's been going on with me and that I hadn't been to church in a while. I used to be a Catholic and I would go to Mass every Sunday, but this was different. And the pastor prayed for me, and I was just so emotional. And this was exactly a week after my 33rd birthday, which I now find kind of interesting because Jesus Christ was 33 years old when his life on earth ended. And I thought it was interesting that I just turned 33 and I gave my life to the Lord. And I felt this joy that I hadn't felt in a long time. I got really, really involved in church. I went to a home Bible study for singles, and I went to church like 2 to 3 times a week. And I listened to Christian radio, and I just couldn't get enough of God and reading my Bible and just filling up my mind and my heart with everything God, everything Jesus. And people, a lot of people say to me, like they've said to Jamie Carrington, I don't know if you'll ever see this, but hi, I saw your testimony. It was beautiful. It's been almost 20 years. It's been 19 years since I got sick. I'm still sick, but I'm still able to keep a smile on my face because I know when things get tough, I know that Jesus is with me and he's my best friend, and I'm not blessed with anything like, materialistic, but I got blessed, and she's laying right in front of me is a precious dog, precious creation of God. And your mindset is totally different when you change, when you give your life to Christ. It's, everything is so much more beautiful and precious. In the summer, I like to sit outside and I like to watch the hummingbirds and the butterflies. Monarchs are starting to come through, and I've got plants planted that attract the monarchs, and I see those creatures, and I think of God, and I think of how beautiful he created these creatures, and how amazingly he created this little dog that I have that she, besides Jesus, of course Jesus is my number one best friend, but my dog is my second best friend, and I'm just so blessed to have her. I'm really am, and I thank God that he gave me such a precious creature to keep me company, to make me laugh, because she does the silliest things sometimes. So it's been 19 years. It'll be in July, it'll be 19 years officially that I've given my life to Christ. And I would encourage anybody to do it. You can't go wrong with it. The only thing that might prevent you from doing that is maybe you're doing some things that you ought not do, and you don't want to give it up. But you know what? Sin, any kind of sin, it's only gonna hurt you, and you're not gonna gain anything from it. I've had some people in my life recently really, really do some horrible things to me. But I forgive them, and in fact, I pray that they get their act together and they not do the not so good things that they are doing. I look at the news, and what I see is Bible prophecy coming true. And so again, I would encourage you, pick up a Bible. Most people will recommend you start by reading the Gospel of John, and it's great. Of course, all the Gospels are wonderful. What I'm doing this year is I started, one thing I've never done is I've never read the Bible all the way through. So that's something that I'm doing. And if you're so disabled that you can't like lift up a book, you know, there's audio Bibles, and that's what I do, because my way of learning that's best for me is through my ears. And so I'm in the book of Numbers now, and I'm learning new things, and just more thankful, that we don't have to abide by the law or the 10 Commandments. We just have to put our faith in Jesus. And again, it's the best thing you'll ever do for yourself in your life. The absolute best thing. And I want to thank you all for watching and listening, if you've made it all the way through. And again, Jamie, I want to thank you for giving me the courage and the inspiration to talk about my journey towards salvation. All right, you guys, will have a marvelous day, and we'll see you soon. Bye, guys.